everyone, this is Yoga with Anna. Today I'm going to show you some options to modify or explore different variations if you'd like to kind of skip the vinyasa piece. Know that vinyasa means to place in a particular way, and we often think of that as a placement linked with breath. So you can always find an intentional and purposeful movement with the breath that would still be a vinyasa. It might just be different than what you're used to seeing or what you're used to being guided in. So for the purpose of this video, let's just assume you've already done some movement and you can either warm up on your own and then join into this, or you can watch this video and then try it on your own at a different time. So we're going to pretend that we're going to start through a vinyasa from standing. So usually it's an inhale as you stand, and as you exhale as you fold forward. There might be another inhale to lift halfway. And then instead of a vinyasa like you might be used to it, option with or without blocks to place one leg back. And you could take a low lunge variation, either with the back knee lifted, so it's an inhale lengthening through the spine. And exhale, hips reach and rise. Inhale to lengthen. And then knee up or knee down, stepping through tabletop position or plank pose, and then coming into downward facing dog. So I'll show you on the second side with a different variation. So here we're gonna pretend like we're coming to fold down through a vinyasa, so that's that inhale lifting halfway, exhale folding forward. So different side, different variation. One leg reaching back, the other knee over the ankle. This time knee could release down and you could find that same inhale lifting through the spine. And exhale, hips sink back, finding a half lunge pose. If you're here, you could also draw the toes towards you. It can be pretty intense, so make sure you breathe. And then the flow, right, would be an inhale guiding forward, and an exhale reaching back. It's really safe for the shoulders, and you can add a bit of balance by bringing the hands together. So you're focusing a little bit more on core strength, and at the same time, playing with the balance. So let's come back to another variation from a forward fold. So this would be an option of inhale, halfway lift, and then exhale, fold. Walking the feet wide, so the heels are in and the toes point out. Option with or without the block to release the hips down. If you're using the block, it comes right underneath the hips. Palms come together. And then you're going to find that same breath and movement. So an inhale to lengthen through the spine. This is really great for the low back. At the same time, strengthening the front of the body. And then exhale, just a little bit of a round. So you're going to be able to find more of a rounding of the spine if you're using the block. If you're not using a block, it's more of a hip opener. And it'll take a little bit more strength to feel really solid in the legs to find that inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And then exhale, taking any other movements, right? Tabletop, down dog, child's pose. So another option. Let me check my cheat sheet. That's right. So if you are coming onto your belly, a couple of options. Once you reach down, always a great idea to have knees down as you lower. The elbows are squeezing in. Sphinx pose, the elbows can come underneath the shoulders, fingertips facing forward, and then press down to reach the sternum forward. So you just have to check in to see if this feels all right, both for your back and for your shoulders. And just notice if the shoulders tend to reach up towards the ears, really press the elbows down, draw the tips of the shoulder blades back together, and open through the heart. Now there are a couple of options on the belly. One could be palms stacked, elbows wide, top of the feet pressing down. Inhale to lift the knees, and then inhale, lift the head, the elbows reach out wide. You could also do this with the arms extending overhead, sometimes called a superhero pose. This is a nice way to strengthen both the front and the back body. For a half bow pose, so this would be one leg at a time. So I'll just start with my right leg. It's going to bend so the heel reaches towards the hip. Right arm is going to sweep up and over. The palm comes onto the inside of the ankle, so the thumb is pointing up. Holding onto the ankle rather than the foot. Nice flexion in the foot. The left arm can press forward to be able to press the knee back, open through the heart, and then maybe you have a little lift here. You can imagine like the tension of a bow, you're really finding a lift and lengthen. For the second side, there's also the option of using that Sphinx pose. So just check in to see if that's okay for your shoulder. So the elbow down, palm on pressing. Left arm reaches back, up and back. Holding onto the inside, so the thumb would be pointing up. Pressing the shin away. It's a little bit easier to find a heart opener here as opposed to the lower variation, which takes a little bit more core strength to explore. Always releasing slowly out of any pose. And then I'll show you a couple options in a flow if you're kneeling. So an option is if you've already come into a tabletop position to come into a kneeling pose. Reach the arms back behind you, interlacing the fingers. Knuckles reach back towards the heels, opening through the heart. So this is our camel pose. And then another variation, often called yoga mudra, or some variations are called rabbit pose. The top of the head can release down, such that the forehead rests first. Then you're going to rock the weight onto the head. The knuckles continue to reach up, pressing the top of the feet down lightly, very lightly. So you can see here, there's no pressure on the shoulders. When you release the arms first, letting the head continue to rest down. Hands on either side of the head, and then press down, elbows squeeze in to unwind. Sometimes people feel dizzy after that pose, so give yourself a couple of breaths or rounds of cat-cow. So now you've had a couple of different variations to explore at home. This practice is one that's always evolving, and there's always something new to explore, not just in the physical body, but in the way that we are patient and compassionate with ourselves, the way that we're open to new opportunities. So take care, and I'll see you another time.